Hey guys, Dean here in Innsbruck, Austria, and today I want to talk about small business ideas that you can start at home. So this is a collection of small business ideas which can either be started as side hustles or passive income streams, or basically be used to completely replace your day job. So there's going to be a series of around 15 which I'm going to cover here, which can be used in any situation. These are all ones that you can start entirely from home, either remotely and over the computer, or as a general digital nomad. It really depends which one you choose and how they can be particularly applied in which situation. Also do mention that some of them have different difficulty levels, and some of them also require a varying level of investment or capital to actually begin or to sustain, although many of them are extremely low budget or entirely free to set up, or just by selling your old possessions for an example. So let's jump into 15 of these ideas. So the first one which I want to cover is actually eBay. Now this is one which I use just to make a little bit of extra money on the side, and to be honest, it's not really the best to use this method as a main income stream. This is mainly because you need an extremely large amount of inventory and storage if you want to sell a ton of products. A great example of how this can be applied in a certain situation is actually if you have a ton of old possessions or items which you no longer need. So for me, for an example, we were moving house and relocating to a brand new property, and we had tons of old possessions which we didn't want to bring over or we wanted to get rid of. In my case, this was loads of possessions which I used to have in my old house, and I kind of wanted to transition to a more minimalistic lifestyle. A lot of my old possessions, gadgets, or faulty or outdated items I had no purpose to actually keep. I decided to actually sell and make some profit on them instead of just giving them to charity shops or just throwing them away in the trash. Remember, there's a saying where one person's trash is another person's treasure, so there's always money to be made in a certain situation. Now the reason why eBay is so great is because you can either put them up for auction, which mainly requires you just putting it for an extremely low price, then people can bid higher, or you can sell it for buy it now for a fixed price. You can sell things on here like books, technology, and tech products, or in my situation I just sold an absolute ton of old Lego from my childhood, like small minifigures and small bricks and pieces, and that's a really highly profitable certain niche because Lego, people keep saying, is going to be just as valuable as gold, and it literally just sells like hotcakes. So that was a good way for me to make a little bit of extra money on the side. So the next one is graphic design and art. Now the way that you can actually monetize this or actually get jobs and gigs is actually by using Fiverr.com. So it really depends what you actually have a specialty in. So for an example, you could do YouTube graphics, you could do things like portraiture, like drawings of people or landscapes, you could do fantasy art and scenes, or anything in Photoshop like avatars and icons are really popular too for social media. The way that you'd actually get gigs and actually put yourself out there is either use Fiverr.com or make yourself a social media page. Twitter is a really popular one, or an Instagram, and you can use this to open commissions or to DM people who actually want art pieces making for them. You can also reach out to people like YouTubers to ask if they need graphics, or popular people to see if they need a new avatar for an example. Also, if you're willing to take a risk, it's not really a particular business idea, but you could also use your art skills to actually create a randomly generated NFT collection if you're into the whole crypto space, which could potentially make you a good profit too. The next one, which is pretty interesting, is web design and development. So a lot of people know how to make websites in this day and age, so it's not really a lucrative skill, or it's not as lucrative or more cutting edge as it used to be 10 years ago. But if you know how to code and program, or if you're learning to and you're good at things like HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, and you can make websites, that can be a highly monetizable skill too. One thing which is really popular is making templates for content websites. So for an example, the content management software Joomla or WordPress, which are used to create websites, is very popular for people to make and then sell themes for them. Joomla, and more particularly WordPress themes, are really popular to sell, and you can make a huge profit selling them. You can sell these on online web marketplaces, and then this can be used for profit. Or if you want to try the flipping websites route, which is a little bit more tricky, and it also kind of involves building a business around the websites that you create, and also how valuable the domain name that you own for your website is. You could even make websites with domains in a blog or business website style, and then sell them on flipper.com, which you can use to kind of flip for a profit and sell the website or the website with a business and make a good profit by flipping websites, although that is a little bit more challenging. And also, like with the art thing, you could actually reach out to companies who have really old dated looking websites, or new startups or new businesses who haven't yet got a website, and you could offer them your skills and then give them your rate, and then you could build a website for them. So the next one is online courses. Now online courses, it's a lot easier to actually sell them if you have some kind of social media presence, but if you're good at editing and quite good at behaving on camera, it can be really lucrative to actually create some kind of course on something. So if you're adept in a certain skill like editing, for an example, editing videos or film, cooking or productivity management and self-development and more, you could make a video course on that individual topic and then sell them on the internet. The way you would do this is you would film the whole individual course, which would be made up of individual videos, which would be in modules, and then you would upload the whole course to a website like Udemy, where you can sell the course for a flat fee, or Skillshare, which you can upload, and then people who subscribe to that platform can use their subscription to watch your course. Although the way that you're paid on Skillshare is based on the actual watch time that people actually spend on your course. There is a Skillshare link below if you do want to use that platform to try and set up your course with. YouTuber Ali Abdaal has some of the most popular courses on this particular platform, and I think he said he was making a few $100,000 each year annually on his courses on editing and productivity, so it's pretty crazy the actual profit you can make off this particular system. Now, ebooks is another one of those things which have been around for a long time, and it's extremely dated, but it can still be profitable and you can still make a business out of it. Now, selling ebooks can be a profitable business or mainly a good side hustle for some passive income. It's another one of those great side streams which influencers could use to sell things like cooking books and other various monetizable ebooks. For an example, you could make ebooks on cooking, so cooking recipes or how to make things like healthy meals, or on health and fitness, like an ebook which shows your workout program and fitness regime, or how to diet for things like bodybuilding or fitness. These are examples of super popular ebook niches which are very monetizable, and if you have a large following, it's very easy to sell these products. You can then sell these particular ebooks on your website or on popular marketplaces like Amazon's Kindle platform. This can also alternatively be the same for people who are just authors who want to write things like self-development books, or if you write fiction like fantasy books and you want to become an author, you can also sell them and publish on Kindle just like you can with business books. The next one is online coaching. So I'm going to use the same example which I did for ebooks, and that's health and fitness and the bodybuilding space, which is one of the most popular niches for online coaching. People who want to diet for some kind of competition or who want to get and improve their fitness level and want to lose some weight. This is very popular for people to actually be fitness and diet coaches on the internet, and they make a lot of money, and these are particularly influencers who already have a following. There's also a few other examples, people who are life coaches who create personal development content and they want to guide people who have a lot of money and don't want to take the time to research the particular topic, and they have value to offer. Also, people who want to improve in the dating space, there is obviously dating coaches who do a very similar thing, and this is just a few examples of things which you could do as an online coach to actually offer to your customers and monetize it if you're particularly good in these certain spaces. So another one which is extremely popular is Shopify drop shipping. Now, you've probably seen hundreds of videos of people actually talking about drop shipping, how to implement it and why it's so valuable, but a lot of people have tried and also failed. So it's a very risky business model and it's hard to make it work, but if you do, it's very profitable. Drop shipping is a very popular side hustle which so many people are starting right now, and it was always popular, but it's extremely popular nowadays, so it's very saturated and you need to be very careful in your approach to it. Now, there's a lot of free videos online which you can actually learn the fundamentals of it, and there's also a lot of paid courses online which you can take to learn all of the steps on how to become a drop shipper and how to turn it into a business. It basically involves making a store on Shopify.com, and then you need to actually find winning products which are actually proved to already make sales, so you can do this by researching other people's products that have been successful, and then you need to make adverts to actually front the products to other people who might actually be reciprocating to actually purchase them. So these ads are usually on platforms like Facebook or Instagram ads. The thing which is attractive about dropshipping is it requires less investment than an inventory-based business. This is because when you find products, you actually order them, and then the distributor or the seller actually ships and fulfills all the items for you, so you don't need to buy a ton of stock and you don't need storage for it. But obviously, because of this process, you are going to have a cut in your profits, and then you're also going to have to spend a lot of the sales money you get on adverts, so the profit in the end is very diluted in comparison to the money actually coming in. Next up is online tutoring. So this is a great part-time job, which is another niche where if you're very good at something or a particular skill, you can teach students online. This is mainly younger students who are in high school or college and university who want to get better at a certain subject. So for example, if you're a high achiever in something like English and maths, or if you speak different languages like German or Japanese for an example, you could get up to $15 an hour actually on certain platforms to teach students who want to get better in these areas. This is a great job for people who basically don't have work due to the current situation, and it probably was a very popular job to do last year when the situation was a lot worse. Another one is Etsy. If you love making handmade goods or products, Etsy can be another thing to monetize your passion. So basically, if you make things like knitted fabric pieces or 3D printed models or foam pieces and replicas, or things like jewelry like bracelets and rings, these can be sold on Etsy. The reason why we use this website instead of something like eBay is it's more designed and crafted around creatives and creating stores in these specific niches. You can build an independent store and then scale up on Etsy, and this is also a great platform to actually, once you've scaled up the store and the business, actually create a brand out of it and then transfer it to your own website. This is a really good place to start to create a scalable and global brand depending on how far you want to take it. The next one is an app developer. Now this is very specific and you need to have a certain skill set to obviously be able to do this, but if you know how to build apps and code and create things like Android and iOS apps, this can be very profitable too. You could build apps for individuals or websites, and Fiverr.com is also a really good place for this too. For an example, so many individuals and businesses have some great app ideas, but they don't know how to actually bring them to life because they don't know how to actually build the app itself. So this is a really great skill to have because apps are always popular and there's always those groundbreaking unique apps and games each year that always seem to crop up. Another idea is freelance writing and copywriting. So freelance writers and copywriters, they work on things like FAQ pages and about pages and work on blog articles and written content for websites. And they also provide and proofread web content and just check it. This is a highly popular niche and it can be very profitable, although it's based upon hourly wages and it's more like a freelance job rather than a scalable business. Now the next one is to create a YouTube channel. Now I would say arguably this is probably one of the best businesses you can actually create remotely because it requires no real investment other than the actual equipment that you're going to use to actually create the video content itself. And you also need to have some kind of passion for actually recording and editing videos because it can be a very grueling process, and also exposure and growth to actually scale up the channel takes an extremely long time. I would say this is probably one of the most lucrative and profitable businesses to start today remotely from home, mainly due to the fact that Google's ad program is probably one of the most fairest and trustworthy out there, and it's also probably the one of the most stable. If you have a talent or you're extremely knowledgeable in a specific area or niche, you can start a channel and all you have to really do is just keep consistent and offer value over a long period of time, and eventually it will pop off. And as long as you treat it like a business, it can also get you a good return. The main thing to focus on here is the niche that you're actually making videos under. For an example, a specific niche like in the gaming space might only pay $1.50, whereas more financial content could pay up to $40 or $50 per 1,000 views. So the next business idea is a t-shirt store. So this is a very popular one because yet again, it doesn't really require much money to actually start, and there's a lot of inspiration that you can take that's already out there to actually create all the designs. So there's a lot of websites that you can do it on. So for an example, there's Merch by Amazon, which is a good platform. It's basically very similar to an Amazon store and it has Amazon FBA, or you can use t-shirt do-it-yourself websites like Teespring, where you can just upload a design and then just order the pieces or ship them out to other people, and they fulfill all the orders and the printing process. You can basically just think of really fun and cool designs, and then if you're good at graphics, you can make them yourself or pay someone to do the graphic and art design on Fiverr to do them for you for really cheap, and then sell the t-shirts for an inflated price and flip a profit. It's always good to pay attention to certain trends, long-term trends and short-term trends, which are extremely popular to base your designs off to turn over sales. The next one is subscription boxes. So this is a really interesting and more of a niche one, but it's a really fun idea for artsy people who are into crafts. So basically, starting a subscription box based business is sending out a monthly item or a range or selection of items which are different each month in kind of like a collector's subscription box, which is like a surprise box where the members who subscribe to it don't really know what they're receiving, and it gives them something new and fresh to actually try out or experience each month. There's many websites that do this by sending different games out each month, like the Humble Bundle one, which is completely digital, or companies like Graze.com who send a selection of different snacks out each month. There's many websites which do a similar thing where you can try food and snacks from many different cultures and countries around the world too. And I think there's also many different makeup boxes that people subscribe to try different companies' products each month as well. It's a fun little idea for people who like arts and crafts, and you could literally package any product and send it out and try and advertise on social media and scale up the business. Now, the last one which I'm going to cover is an Amazon store, and this is one which I wanted to try out, although I didn't really have much time to allocate to it, so I've not really been able to experiment too much with this yet myself. Basically, you can sell Amazon items in your store, and also you can even drop ship them too, although there's more stricter guidelines on Amazon than Shopify in terms of drop shipping, so you will need to follow all of their strict rules to actually perform drop shipping on Amazon. This involves things like buying universal product codes for every single one of your products and shipping them in your own packaging, which can be a little bit tougher when actually trying to completely do it drop shipping style. But an Amazon store also allows you to use Amazon FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon, which lets you send Amazon stock and then they store it in the warehouses, and they can also then ship items out to customers extremely quickly, and they basically then have Amazon Prime style delivery for your customers to get products extremely fast, and they fulfill the whole postage and packaging system seamlessly to save you a lot of time. You basically just need to set up an Amazon store, get it verified with one of the Amazon support reps, and then you need product inventory to actually then sell. The reason which I like this particular method over things like Shopify is you actually have access to Amazon's platform, and thus you then have access to their search engine, so people can find your products a lot easier. This means that it requires a lot less advertising, as you'll be using Amazon's system to sell rather than actually selling on your own website, which makes it harder to drive traffic. And that's 15 small business ideas to start at home. I hope these were all useful. If you have any questions, do let me know them down below, and I'll try and give you answers or help and support with anything featured in this list. Also, make sure to subscribe to follow the channel, and if you have any other business ideas which I forgot to list, also do share them here too so people can try them out for themselves.